It's on to employment, taxation of employment income. Of the items, common items provided by employers to employees are actually accommodation. So for taxation of accommodation provided by an employer, we look at whether if the employer actually rents the place for the employees, then it will be the total annual rent paid by the employer less any rent that is paid by the employee. Okay, but if the accommodation provider is actually a property that is owned by the employer, then it will be based on the annual value of the property. Okay, less any rent paid by the employee to the employer. Okay, and in terms of furnitures and fittings, uh, we for rented property, if the employer actually rents the property, it will usually be included in the total rent. But for property that is owned by the employer, we look at whether the premises is partially furnished or it is fully furnished. If it's partially furnished, we take 40% of the annual value, okay, as the taxable amount of the furniture and fittings. If it's fully furnished, then you will take 50%. For hotel accommodation, okay, uh, where the employer actually pays for the hotel accommodation. Usually this happens when the property that the employer has planned for the employee is not yet available, so they may house the employee in a hotel and pay for the expenses. Then it will be just be the actual cost incurred by the employer for the hotel stay, and of course less any amount paid by the employee if there's any. On CPF and provident funds taxability, I think I've mentioned briefly that mandatory or obligatory contributions to CPF, okay, are not taxable on the employee. Whereas excess or voluntary contributions made by employer to the employee's CPF account, it is actually taxable. And of course, any contributions made by employer uh, in respect of an employee to any pension or provident fund that are outside Singapore, mainly the foreign employees, okay, then the contributions are taxable on the employee. We come to the taxation of share options and share awards, a very common benefit or employment income uh, is given to and is paid to the employees. Okay, so we have a specific section, section 10(6), in the Income Tax Act to tax gains from employee stock option or ESOP and employee share ownership that are granted when the individual is exercising employment in Singapore. Okay. So, so long as these are granted in respect of employment exercise in Singapore, we will tax it, even though the stock option or the share ownership is exercised or vested outside of Singapore. And these gains, okay, are taxable under Section 10(1)(b), which is employment income. They are taxed as employment income. So some key terms to familiarize ourselves with is actually vesting period. Is the period where the employees are required to fulfill conditions before they are allowed to exercise the options or acquire the shares. Okay, then exercise period actually pertains mainly to the share options, where the vested options are allowed to basically to this period allows the employees to exercise the options, okay, to purchase the shares, and after which, if they do not do that, the options will just expire, and the employees will not have um, rights to own the shares. Then, of course, exercise price is the amount paid by the employee to acquire the shares when he exercises the options, and moratorium period is period where the individual is not allowed to sell the shares. Okay, after the share options, the shares after the share options are exercised or after the share awards are vested. So this will be an important concept because it affects the taxing point, which we will share later. So, when we say no selling restriction, it actually pertains to the moratorium period. Okay, so if there's no selling restriction, then is clear. Basically, after the shares awards vest or the exercise or the options are when the employer actually exercises these options, they get the shares. Anytime they can just sell the shares. But if there's a selling restriction, means that there is a moratorium period imposed. Like the employees cannot sell the shares within 3 years. Okay, then the sale can the sale of the shares can only be done after the restriction is lifted, okay, or the moratorium is lifted. In computing the stock option or share award gains, for those without any selling restriction, okay, so for stock option, without selling restriction, the gains will accrue in the year when the options are exercised. Okay, so to compute the gains, we take the open market price of the share on the date of exercise less the exercise price, okay, uh, paid by the individual for the shares, we get, and of course times the number of shares to get the taxable gains. Okay. For share awards themselves, okay, with uh, vesting period imposed, the gains will accrue in the year when the shares are vested. Okay. So if there's a vesting period imposed, then will be on the day of you take the open market price of the share on the date where the shares are vested and less the price paid by less price paid by the individual for the shares, the taxable. If there is no vesting period imposed on the share, that means upon grant, the employees are actually entitled, I mean, they get the share. So then you will take the open market price of the share on the date of the grant less the price paid by the individual compute the taxable goods. For uh, ESOP and sell with selling restriction, okay, we only tax when the selling restriction is lifted, that means after the moratorium period is over. So we take the open market price of the share on the date when the moratorium is lifted minus the exercise price or the price of the share to get taxable gain. So whether there is a selling restriction or not will determine it determines the taxing point. If there is a selling restriction, then we only tax the gains when the selling restriction is lifted. I have this example here, okay, to illustrate and also maybe need you to yeah, to compute some gains. So the share option, there are options granted. Okay, the exercise price is $5, and there is a selling restriction. Okay, in terms of the moratorium period imposed. Uh, so it's supposed to compute the taxable gains. Okay, so here given the market price at the date of grant. So basically, this range of share options are granted in 2019, and the exercise price is supposed to be $5. So there are a few dates: open market price at the day of exercise, paid market price on the date when the moratorium was lifted, and of course at the date of disposal. So how should the taxable gains be computed? Slide. Yeah, and the whole one and the results. Okay, so majority actually selected no, sorry. Yeah, the second choice, which is $10,000. This is correct. Okay. Yeah, it's 10,000 because there is a moratorium imposed. So we'll take the open market price uh, of the at the date where the moratorium was lifted, less the exercise price to get the taxable gains. Of course, you must because this is per share, so we actually um, yeah, so we must times the number of shares to get this figure. So it's $7 less $5 times 5,000. Next, we will go through a so-called deemed exercise rule. Sometimes it's not so a foreign employee may leave Singapore before the options are vested or the share awards are vested. So which is why we have a deem exercise rule, okay, is to deem that the employee would have obtained the gains, okay, from any unexercised option or unvested share awards 1 month before the date of cessation of employment in Singapore. Okay, so the amount of final gain computed would be based on the open market price of the share as at 1 month, okay, before he ceases employment, or the date of grant, whichever is later, and then less the exercise price or the price payable by the employee. Okay, so okay, we have this tracking option available. That means employee may write in to request that we will not apply the deemed exercise rule to the foreign employees who are leaving. So on IRS's part, we do not apply the deemed exercise rule, but we will do not tax the employees before he leaves, but then we will require the employers to track That's why it's called an option. Okay, it's an alternative to the deemed exercise rule. It allows the employer to track when the income realization event occurs when the employee is already outside Singapore and reports the gains to IRAS when it happens. Okay, so and of course, employer has to undertake to collect and pay the taxes on the gains to CIT, which is Control of Income Tax. We actually have an e-guide if you're interested to find out more. We actually have an e-guide in our website. The details are there on the tracking option. Okay, but, but the deemed exercise rule deemed exercise rule should be the tax treatment that we apply, okay, for foreign employees living in Singapore. So this will definitely deem apply the deemed exercise rule. So unless the employer right deem if not, we will apply the deemed exercise rule. This question, okay, a foreigner exercise employment in Singapore from 1st November 2018 to 30th September 2022. He was granted ESOP on 1st September 2021. Then on 22nd September 2022, when the employer sought tax clearance, okay, the employee is leaving, right? He has unexercised ESOP of 50,000 shares. So what is the amount of the taxable gains? Okay, so I can give you a few minutes. I have a poll, but I think in the interest of time, I'll just give you a few minutes to read through. So we actually okay, because clearance is sought right on 2nd of September, and the on 2nd of September, but the employment contract actually ends 30th of September. So we will apply the deemed exercise rule, and the open market price should be the 1 month before the end of the cessation of employment, which is the 30th of August. Okay, so we should take 150 per share minus the $1 and times the number of share, which is 50,000. So it should be 25,000. Okay, so we take the price as at 30, which is 30 days, 1 month before the cessation of the employment. And if he was granted the second part is that if he was granted the ESOP on 15 September, will the amount of his taxable gains be the same? It will not be the same, right? Because the rule is that whichever is, we'll take the date whichever is later. So in this case, we will take, because he was granted the ESOP on 15 September 2022, we will take the open market price of the ESOP shares as at 15 September 2022. It's the exercise price of $1 times 50, that means $1.45 minus $1 times 50,000 shares, we will get 22,500. So this is to illustrate the application of the deemed exercise rule. For claims of employment expenses, employer, okay, so I've mentioned earlier also, employer only qualifies for 2 deductions because the employee is likely to reimburse the employee for all the expenses that he incurs in the discharge of the duties, and expenses incurred expenses that are not reimbursed by the employer, but the employee actually incurs work purposes will be deductible provided they are also not prohibited. That means they are not allowed under the Section 15 of our Income Tax Act. So some of the common examples are like traveling between office, if it's between office and client's office, is it deductible? It is, okay, because it is between office and the client's meeting place or office, so it is for business purposes or for work purposes, so it will be deductible. For entertainment, is it deductible? It is incurred in the production of income and not for social or private purposes. Then we will allow, okay, it will be deductible. Yeah, the employees have to keep the proper records to show that the expenses incurred are actually incurred for business purposes. But interest fee paid to professional bodies, it is not deductible because it is capital in nature. The entrance fees paid to professional bodies are not deductible, but the annual subscription fees paid to professional bodies are deductible. Okay. For expenses incurred in obtaining employment, these are not deductible, okay, because they are not incurred in the performance of the duties of the employment. It is actually more capital in nature because it is acquired to, it is incurred to acquire a source of income, so it is capital in nature. So these deductions, these expenses are actually prohibited under Section 51C of the Income Tax Act, so we do not allow the deduction. Okay, so from morning till now, we've gone through the residency test and also taxation of employment income. Okay, now we will go through the taxation of other income. I forgot to add that there were questions in the chat. Okay, so this question we'll try to address at the end of the session. If you do not have time, then we'll just take it back and we provide a written reply. Okay. Yes, generally this course is very content heavy and like stretch for time, so we try to cover the contents first before we take the questions. Now on other income, they are basically under the different sections of the Income Tax Act. Okay, so we have Section 10(1)(b), we have dividends, interest, and discount. These are generally passive income instead of active income like business income, trade income, or employment income. And most of these other income or passive income are exempt to the individuals, such as dividends or interest. Discounts from debt securities. The discounts here usually are debt securities. Discount from debt securities. For example, is the T-bills that individuals can subscribe to. The amount that we get back is actually a discount. Okay, and that discount is actually exempted under the Income Tax Act, so it is not taxable. Section 10(1)(e) actually pension charge and annuity. Pension are exempted also under Section 13. Some examples are government pensions or certain active pension schemes. Okay, charge are actually payments under a court order. Okay, for example, payments to tax for payments made for maintenance of tax houses, alimony, payments made for maintenance of children, parents. Okay, for alimony is exempted. For payments made for maintenance of parents or children, they are not taxable under the Income Tax Act. Then annuity income also exempted under Section 13(1) Sec E. So for individuals, a lot of this passive income passive other income are exempted under the Income Tax Act. For Section 10(1)(f), we have royalties, rents, premiums, and any other profit arising from property. Basically, these are income arising from movable properties, such as royalties are actually derived from uh, uh, movable properties, whereas rent actually income arising from immovable properties. Okay. So, royalty is derived in Singapore. It is paid directly or indirectly by a person resident in Singapore by for taxable against any income earned in Singapore. Royalty is taxable in the year that it is due in Singapore, but there is a tax concession for which you
Hello, Siri. Sorry, we cannot hear you actually. We kind of like lost you like a few minutes ago. Ah, very, very soft. I don't know is it only me, but
Yeah, soft.
breaking as well, like very faint and breaking. Still the same actually. Uh,
That's not okay. I
okay.
the one thing for I think the participant
Maybe it's the placement of the mics.
just now we just spoke up. I believe okay. I saw that the thing is reconnecting. Right, the rest are not reconnecting. My internet issue, but we also get internet on both sides.
I think we can't hear you, Serene.
Uh,
Very faint, very faint.
Very faint.
you think
Oh, actually, you're very soft.
very soft. I'm really talking very loud. Not maybe I leave and come back and join again. Is it okay?
Yes, I think you leave and then you come back
Yeah,
again. Then we
I'll
see
come
how it
back again.
goes. Yep.
Okay, okay, let me leave. It's for
yang kenapa lu selalu buka itu pintu? Hah?
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is it
better.
Good,
better?
good, very good. Very much better.
Okay. Saturday morning, so everybody is fighting for bandwidth in the whole block, I think.
Yeah.
It's my slide. Where did I lose you guys? Is it here?
There's nothing on the screen.
There's nothing.
But you have to share screen again, I guess.
Mm,
Do you want me to help you?
hang on. Able to see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, is it okay that I continue from here?
Yeah, I think that should be fine.
Okay, right. Okay. So sorry. Okay, so basically, let me repeat on other income again. These are overall for an individual passive income, okay, instead of active income such as business, trade, or employment income. And most are exempt to the individuals, such as dividends, interest, okay. Discounts from debt securities are also exempted. And I gave the example of the T-bills that the individuals can subscribe to. The amount that we get back is actually a discount that is exempted. Then we have Section 10(1)(e), which is the pension charge and annuity. Pensions are also exempted under Section 13. Examples are the government pensions or certain approved pension schemes. Charge payments made under a court order, such as payments for maintenance of ex-spouse, which is alimony, or payment for maintenance of children or parents. These are exempted or not taxable under the Income Tax Act. Income from annuity received by individual are also exempted under the Income Tax Act. And under Section 10(1)(f) is actually income from immovable properties and movable properties. So royalties is actually derived from movable properties, okay? And there is a tax concession for royalties received by authors, composers, and choreographer. So this tax concession is we only tax the lower of the net amount after allowable deduction of 10% of the gross amount of royalties received by the individuals. For rent, which is income from immovable properties in Singapore, we tax the net rental income, which is gross rent less the expenses. But with effect from the year of assessment 2016, individuals can claim a 15% deemed rental expense deduction against gross rent if they rent out their residential properties. For individuals who are landlords of non-residential properties, they are not able to claim the 15% deemed expense deduction. Okay. And of course, we have catch-all section, section 10(1)(g), which is which stated that any gains or profits of the income nature not falling within any of the preceding paragraph, that is under section 10(1)(a) to F, then if it's income in nature, it will be taxable under section 10(1)(g). One of the example is actually the SRS withdrawal, which I'll go through in the next few slides. So for SRS, which is supplementary retirement scheme, it is actually a voluntary scheme which I believe some of us here may contribute. Okay, that helps individual to save for retirement, and contributions to SRS are eligible for tax relief but subject to a cap. It is meant to complement the CPF and is operated by the private sector or by the local banks. Okay, the SRS contributions are open to Singaporeans, SPR, and foreigners. Okay, and the contributions in SRS can be used to invest in various products. So in terms of tax treatment, 50% of the withdrawal from the SRS account at retirement age are taxable. In terms of tax relief, this is the yearly maximum SRS contributions that an individual can make. Okay, so for the Singaporeans and the Singapore PR, the maximum amount that we can put into the SRS account is actually 50,300. And for the foreigners, it will, because they do not contribute to CPF, so it will be 35,700. Okay. And if the contribution may be made by the individual themselves or by the employers. And again, if any contributions to SRS are made by the employees on behalf of the employees, it will be taxed as additional uh, remuneration to the employees. Okay, it's, it's a benefit that the employees provides when they pay on behalf, they contribute on behalf of the employees to the employees' SRS account. So it would be a taxable income in the hands of the employees. So as mentioned, 50% of the SRS withdrawn at retirement age will be taxable. Okay. And of course, if there's early withdrawal before the retirement age, 100% of the sums withdrawn will be taxable at the point of withdrawal. All these details you can actually go through in the notes. Okay, this is the list compiled. Basically, I think I've gone through when we went through the earlier slide on the different sections of the taxation of the other income. As you can see, these are all the exemption of the interest income, uh, dividends, yeah, annuities, yeah. So a lot of this passive income are actually stand in the hands of the individuals. The personal reliefs. So we went through the reliefs as in we went through the taxation of employment income, uh, and the other income that are derived by individuals, but most are actually exempt, except for the more common ones that we see are actually rental. Okay, a lot of individuals, some individuals, I mean, individuals who are landlord will actually declare the income. These are the more common types of income that that are individuals. So after we determine the income that are taxable, we will deduct the personal relief to get the chargeable income before applying the tax rate. So for personal reliefs, they are only available to resident individuals. Okay, currently there are 15 tax reliefs, including CPF and SRS relief. These are mainly to serve certain achieve certain social objectives. Okay, like the parent relief is to promote filial piety, to encourage taxpayers to support or maintain the parents. Okay, child relief is um, to support is part of the marriage and parenthood measures to uh, to encourage parenthood. So common features of reliefs are that a dependent can only be subject can only be a subject of claim for one type of relief, except for grandparent caregiver relief, meaning that I can claim grandparent caregiver relief. Okay, let's say if my mom is taking care of my kids, and uh, my brother can claim parent relief in respect of her. Yeah. So it's yeah, but if say but if say that okay, but if say my father decides to claim spouse relief in respect of my mom who's not working, and I want to claim parent relief in respect of my mom also because I mean, yeah, I stay with her also. Then my father and I has to decide who is to claim. Is he going to claim the spouse relief or is am I going to claim the parent relief? So that is the meaning. A dependent can only be dependent. My mother can only be a subject of claim for one type of relief. Okay, so and some reliefs have normal and handicap status. So for like parent relief or parent disability relief. So for the parent disability relief is actually a higher quantum. course, some reliefs have income threshold, maybe the dependent related relief, such as spouse relief, child relief, parent relief. There's an income threshold that the income should not exceed $4,000, or it's going to increase to 1,000. Yeah, next year. Why? Because the reliefs are meant to be claimed in respect of a dependent. Okay, so we use the, the income threshold to determine whether the dependent is is truly a dependent. Yeah. That's a threshold kind of thing. And of course, there with effect from 2018, the total there's a total relief cap of 80,000. Yeah. So if we add up all the different type of relief and the total reliefs allowable are actually more than 80,000, then we apply a 80,000 cap to allow only 80,000 dollars worth of relief, and that's it. Yeah. For individuals, there's this parental tax rebate, only for parents. Okay. If a relief is offset against accessible income to arrive at chargeable income. So after chargeable income, then we apply the tax rate to compute the amount of tax payable. After we have the tax payable amount, then it will be if there's any payroll tax rebate, so the rebate will offset the amount of tax payable. That's why it's called rebate. Okay. So this PTR is actually for tax resident is married because we don't have qualifying Singapore citizen children and the profit child. So the amount of rebate will depend on the order on the child order. So it's 5,000, 10,000, or 20,000 per child and beyond. Okay. This is a typical tax computation uh, typical tax computation for an individual. Say an individual will have employment income, okay, and any other income such as interest, rent, size withdrawal, then the total will be known as a statutory income, less any donations made. You get so-called AI, which is accessible income, and then less any personal reliefs, but capped at 80,000, you get a chargeable income. And it's on this chargeable income that we apply tax rates, okay, to get tax payable. And then after that, you less any tax rebate, like your PTR. Okay, or this year, as announced in budget 2024, there is a tax rebate, $200. Yeah. Okay. So after the rebate, then you'll get the net tax payable that is payable by the individual. And actually, I should put here, this is the typical tax computation of a resident individuals. How do we know? Because of the personal reliefs. Okay, non-resident individuals are not entitled to personal reliefs. Actually, on time. Okay, so I have a case study which I give some time. So at the same time, short toilet break. Within the 10 minutes, we can go through and we go through the answers after we come back. Basically, okay, the scenario is Bob, an Australian, was seconded to the Singapore subsidiary by the parent company in Melbourne on 1st November 2021. He completed his assignment in Singapore on 30th November 2022. That's 1 year later, and returned to Australia. So there are some income items that he was provided for the employment period, and he's supposed to indicate for the taxable amount if they're taxable and compute the total assessable income. Of course, the other question is what is Bob's tax residence status? So we need to do a little bit trick. I think you guys have this type of slide. What will be the income? Yeah, this is the list. I think there's another page. Yeah, we can go through um, the, the items and work out. Yeah, it's supposed to be a breakdown currently, but I think I'll just show this slide and we will go through it in 10 minutes. I think in 10 minutes time.
So I flash the timer now.
Elizabeth, can I check? Do the participants have this type of slides or the notes? The notes?
Yeah, they'll be given a hard copy. That's what I heard.
Oh, okay, okay. So then I think yeah, it's fine. You can flash. I don't have to flash this. You can flash the timer. Is it okay? Let me stop sharing.
So it's a 10 minutes, right, Serene?
Yes, correct. So the participants can actually go through the question also. Look up. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello. Hope that you have looked up the question. Let me share. Okay. Okay. We go through the first, the second question first. What is top tax resident status for year assessment 2022 and 2023? So the answer is you'll be assessed as a tax resident for both year of assessment, right? Because the 2 year administrative concession applies. This employment period actually straddles 2 years, 2021 and 2020, calendar year 2021 and 22, and it is his employment is consecutive. He's exercising employment consecutively for 183 days, okay, or more. And then the taxable in terms of tax income, okay. The first is monthly salary. It is taxable, okay, and it should be yeah. This figure is arrived 12,500 times 11 months. Okay, it's only here for 11 months in 2022. So this is the taxable amount. Discretionary bonus for year 2021 and paid in January 2022. It is taxable. Year assessment 2023. Yes, it is. Okay, because it is paid. It is taxable when it is paid for discretionary bonuses or, in other words, non-contractual bonuses. And how about airfare for him to return home after completing the assignment? It is not taxable. Okay. Okay. And in terms of accommodation, it should be 34,650. How we get this figure? It is we take okay, it is a partially furnished apartment. So in terms of furniture and fittings, we take 40% of the annual value, and uh, uh, plus the annual value of the property itself. So it's 140% of 30,000, and then we take 11 months. Okay? We must remember to apportion based on the period of employment. So this will be the figure. And the next part is on share options. Okay. For number 5, the share 4,000 units of share options are granted by the parent company on 1st of July 2021. When we exercise them in 2022, and we are given market price and exceeding price. But is this taxable? It is not taxable, okay? Because it is granted on 1st of July 2021. That is before he came to Singapore to exercise his employment. He only came in his employment in November 2021. So this uh, this tranche of share options are not granted in respect of Singapore employment, so it will not be taxable. Whereas the 2,000 units of share options will be taxable in Singapore. Okay, so how do we compute which is the open market value that we should take? We should take the 30th October 2020, the open market value of that 30th October 2022, which is 1 month before he ceases employment. Okay, so it's $7.10 less the enterprise price of $3 times 2,000 units, which is that $8,100. The premium for group medical insurance, which is available to all, is taxable. It will not be, okay. For medical group medical insurance, it is not taxable. The transport allowance of $200 per month, so it will be taxable. Again, it's $200 times 11 months, which is $2,200. It's discount. So he received a staff discount of $200 for the product worth $2,000. Basically, the product say he's working for a company that is selling product A. So product A is worth $2,000, but because he is an employee, he is able to get the $200 discount off the price of $2,000. So in terms of staff discount, it is taxable. The $200 is taxable. Okay, if in terms of staff discount, if the value of the item does not exceed $500, then any staff discount will not be taxable. But if the value of the item or the product is more than $500, uh, then the value of the discount will be taxable. And contributions by employer to pension fund in Australia, it is taxable, right? We've gone through. Okay. Contributions, similarly, his employer made SRS contributions to his SRS account. This will also be taxable. Okay. In terms of other income, so what we have seen is the competition for the employment income. In terms of other income, we receive interest from a loan to a colleague at $1,400 is taxable. Okay. What is provided in the Income Tax Act that is not taxable are actually interest, mainly interest from approved banks or financial institutions. Yeah. So I think this is just a hypothetical scenario. Okay, so if you receive any other interest from a loan, let's say from a loan to a colleague, it is taxable. And of course, as mentioned, from the savings account, from Singapore bond, they are not taxable. Okay, they are exempted. Rental from a property back in Australia, $25,000. This amount will not be taxable. Okay, because income from immovable property, we only tax it if the immovable property, okay, is in Singapore. So since the property is actually in Australia, it will not be taxable. So the total assessable income is actually this figure that we have. These are some of the computations that we've gone through.
Sorry, Serene.
Yeah.
Can I check? Where do you get this? Wait, for the rental, can you? I'd say sorry. Don't really get this rental number 4. So we are assuming that actually this one is employer own the premises, is it?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
This one, right? Yeah, employer. Yeah. Because you're given annual value.
Oh, so basically when we see the exam there is an annual value, we can assume that this actually employer owned instead of rented the place.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
But of course, if its employer pays uh, if it's stated that employers pays rental or the property, then we should take the rental.
Okay,
Because
so we don't need to
in
compute the FNF. Correct,
yes,
ah?
correct,
Okay, okay,
correct,
okay.
correct. Yeah, because all properties have annual value. So even if the employer actually rents a property, there will also be annual value. But in this example, of course, yeah, I mean, we are taking that maybe it's not clear. Next time I'll make it clearer that uh, it's a property owned by the employer. Yeah.
Okay, okay, got it. Thank you.
Um, close
Can you
because
show the workings again?
okay, sure. Okay, okay, yeah. The next session will be at 11:30. Okay. I actually have a few questions because I logged out and then only came in, so I can only see some of the question. The other question, I'm not able to see the chat, the history. But no worries, I can get Tax Academy to download the question and forward to me. I will look through and provide a written reply. But some of the question in the chat, I mean that there are a couple. So from Chai Kyung, is the tax rate table provided to candidates during the exam? I suppose so, yes. Actually, it has to be for the progressive tax rates for the individuals, yes. Then do we test is it tested on what year of assessment 2024 new tax relief? Uh, yeah, we will. It's not on year of assessment 2024. Your exam will be on year of assessment 2023, which follows the contents that we are looking at now. So the exam will be on year of assessment 2023. Okay, and Jean, if the rental from Australia is remitted to Singapore, it's also not taxable. Yes, it's not taxable for the individual. It's considered as foreign source.
Sorry, Serene. Regarding the year assessment 2023 that we are tested, right? So are we saying that the CPF we still compute at 6,000 for 12 months?
Yes.
Ah, okay, okay.
Mm. Yep, you're right. CPF, there's some updates, right? With effect from this September, October, this 2023. I mean, the 6,000 was ceiling was increased to 6,300. That will affect your assessment 2024. So don't worry, that part won't be. So actually, I'm done. Okay, so I think we can roughly is another about 8 more minutes to 11:30. In 11:30, my colleague we think will start the next session. Okay, don't worry about the questions. I will take it back and I will reply your separately. Yeah, thank you.
I'll put a timer for 11:30. Sorry,
Yeah,
11:30, right? Yeah.
yeah, 11:30.
I'll
Yeah,
put the timer for
yeah,
11:30.
yeah. Yeah.